That Las Vegas UFO crash happened, and there are so many conspiracies out there, but the biggest conspiracy here is that something really did happen and the family has gone silent. In fact, some are even saying they are actually missing.
Oh shit! Oh, shit.
People are claiming to be their friends. Some people, that is actually crazy, right? That people that live around the neighborhood where the crash happened, some people are claiming that they try to reach out to their family, they're not talking to them, they're acting very strange, very differently, and also that family is just like don't want to talk with anyone. I understand they probably do not want unwanted attention, but if that's really the case, like people are saying, they wouldn't have went public. It's as though they went public, caught the attention of someone really high up there that didn't want this information to be out, and now it is as though they were told, because government vehicles were showing up. Multiple people have claimed that, and some are also claiming that men in black showed up. That I'm not sure. I'm gonna ask questions. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not, but that's what we're hearing. And now this news station is talking about this. Roll it. Drop a like, subscribe, and check this out.
So it's probably most important at this point that I bring in Ben Hansen, because he is the host of Discovery Plus's UFO Witness, and he's been following this case closely. Okay, so Ben, when we talked before, we didn't know a bunch of this other stuff, like the broken leg that was hanging in an awkward position and the eyelashes, and we took video, yet no one has seen the video. This business about police coming to the house afterwards with details like 2 sergeants, a couple of investigators asking to set up cameras, and then the cops say, no, we never did go back. I gotta get your take. What do you make of all of
And this is where the first conspiracy is at, right? Because some people are claiming that that was the police dressed up, or that was men in black dressed up as the police.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Well, it is one of the most bizarre cases, not the most bizarre that I've investigated. You summarize it very well. It starts out with some corroborating evidence. You have a 911 call. You have police taking the family seriously. In fact, I think they would still tell you today that most of them felt they were telling the truth. They seemed legitimately frightened.
Yeah.
But when you start digging into it, they start to have some inconsistencies. They told George Knapp, local Vegas reporter, that they had video, which you said, of course, was never mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
The footprints, you don't think to take, photos of those. And it starts to kind of unravel. And then all of a sudden the family stops responding. Now, the media has descended. They've found the location. They're, I'm sure, getting bombarded. And it's natural. Maybe you'd want to go into hiding. But at this point, you'd also hope they'd want to just kind of clear the air once and for all. It's
just give us that conclusion. But I truly understand. Maybe they don't want unwanted attention. Maybe they are being bombarded and being stormed by the media company. That's totally understandable, because this is massive. 2 of the biggest questions we have as a society is what happens after we die, and are we alone in the universe or not? And this is like very, very big. But just something is off with it. I know some of you do not believe this story at all. That's perfectly fine. Ask questions. I'm all pro for you asking questions and not believing everything. And I also got questions of my own. I don't know whether this was legit or not, but I do believe something happened. What exactly? I don't know. I believe that something fell. What exactly? I don't know about it, but I believe that it's quite strange. It's quite strange.
It's very odd, because we've looked at it every angle we possibly can, except for maybe doing voice stress analysis. When you played the 911 tape, I was thinking maybe we should do that too.
Well, there's time, because we're not getting very far on this, although you have gotten farther than it seems the police have. I'm a little disconcerted with the report that the family said police came a couple days later and did this whole investigation, and the Metro Vegas police have said, no, we didn't. Can you tell me if you've investigated or reported on or witnessed any other incidents of these strange, X-Files like incidents where people arrive to investigate that apparently don't exist?
Okay, I don't watch many news channels. I don't know about this news channel, but I like this lady because she's actually asking questions, because I don't know they ask questions like that anymore, right? On TV, on live TV news, they're usually puppets. They just want to tell you what they're being told to tell you exactly. But okay, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I would say that we do have pretty convincing evidence that has happened in the past, maybe the 50s and 60s. I think it's really difficult to find such a situation now, because you could find this type of story in the tabloids. And then if there was a secret keeping group, who would honestly believe them and take it as true if they came out and just said their story like they've been doing, and there's no need to cover it up. So I do think that's kind of, more in the realm of conspiracy. However, they had photos supposedly, and they released photos of the police being there. That should be easy to verify, but our sources are telling us nothing officially. No one officially went out to follow up. And so if it's not them, and they're seeing these SUVs driving around blacked out, it could be other people, media, onlookers, just trying to figure out what's happened. But I would say it's a very unlikely situation that we have like a shadow agency there.
Well, that's what I would say. But for the fact that last week Ben Grush came forward, and for those who don't know who Ben Grush is, you probably will soon. He's a former Air Force veteran, longtime employee of the Pentagon. He's a whistleblower. He's telling Congress enough is...
What are your thoughts on Ben? Ben is just the guy that recently came out that said that, they do have a lot of the alien technology in possession, UFO aircrafts to be exact. They have that in possession, and they have known about it for decades, and it is actually true. I tend to believe him a lot more just because of his credentials, just because he's ex-Marine, ex-military. I tend to believe him a lot more because he has that credibility and he has that rank. What are your thoughts on that?
Enough. There is a secret program that the government runs to recapture crashed UFOs, suggesting even non-human pilots have been recovered as well.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
A picture of him. It's being taken seriously. Congressmen have responded. They're asking for hearings. So it feels like we're getting some traction with this fella. Whether or not the evidence that he saw was given to him erroneously, or whether this is all true, I'm not going to weigh in on that. The family said they saw blue-green sparks before the crash in their backyard, and then the strange description of the aliens. And the American Meteor Society shows multiple reports of something sighted right around the same time as far away as California. I get it. If it's a meteor, that would make perfect sense, but for the fact that there's this backyard business and the alien beings business, how do you square those two reports?
Well, absolutely. I mean,
I believe that if he never said that he saw 8 feet and 10 feet tall creatures, and 2, mind you, and if he didn't see the circular print on the ground, then people would be like, okay, it's probably like nothing burger, or probably like a meteor fall. Something definitely fell. Maybe that print was made after the fact. Maybe this is a distraction. But if this is really a distraction, then they wouldn't be going silent. Or maybe this is them testing it out, how people would react. Because usually speaking, right, you have the story, they're claiming that, yep, I've seen the aliens, it's real. You're probably like, okay, either you're gonna believe it or you're not gonna believe it, or you're gonna be in the middle asking questions. Perfectly fine, whatever you choose to, whatever route you choose to go. But once they do that, then that's it. But the second they tell you about it and then they go silent, that will make people ask more, and that will make people a lot more curious. And I think that's what's happening now. So maybe they're doing it, maybe they're designed to do this, maybe this is how they plan to do this. I don't know. Thoughts on this, guys?
That's exactly the point here, is that let's say you had an elaborate hoax you were wanting to perpetrate, right? And what are you going to sit around and wait for a meteor or some event to kind of spark that off, literally, so that you start perpetrating your hoax, right? That to me doesn't make sense. We have pretty much determined, I think there was a meteor. That's what they're seeing. We've pulled up, Google Earth images and lined everything up. But it is possible still that something did fly over. Let's say a piece of it landed on their property. Okay, so if we take them at their word, what I really have a hard time with is the descriptions of these beings. You're either making up a hoax or you're not. I don't really see anybody, mistaking, let's say, a coyote or some, other animal in the backyard as an 8 to 10 foot tall creature.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially with that
that's the real
with the
problem.
big eyes.
He also said big eyes. Yeah, big eyes. She mentioned that. Yeah, doubly woman, man. Doubly woman.
Right. The big eyes, the glossy eyes, the mouth, the broken leg. Yeah, I mean, 8 to 10 feet. I want to bring someone else into our
broken leg. That's actually crazy.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
The fact that they're saying broken leg now, that's new information. It is as though, like they crash landed. They broke their leg. Oh no, right? The aliens broke their leg. That is insane if that's true, man. Holy F.
Our conversation, Ben, if I can. So stand by for a second. Mark Berry is a retired Las Vegas Metro Police officer who's also been working with Ben on investigating this case. So Mark, you're the perfect person to ask about this piece that involves the so-called, Metro Vegas police going to the house days after this crash. A couple of sergeants, couple of investigators, the family reports, and they didn't exist. The Metro Police are saying we didn't. Do we believe the Metro Police when they say they didn't? Or do we think that somebody did show up dressed as them?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Metro's a great organization. Their officers are some of the most finely trained officers in the world. And, they handled it. In my book, they pretty much did what they could as patrol officers. The fact that the family said some sergeants came in afterwards and put up cameras, that's not protocol in any kind of unit within the department. We're not going to do that. Basically, when you show up on scene, once you gain that real estate, you're not going to give it up. So if you need to call in criminalistics, if you need to call in detectives, if you need to call in another unit, you're going to do that, but you're going to remain on scene, probably start a perimeter or something like that. These officers, I'm not going to discount the story. They had no reason not to believe other than, it's pretty out there when you hear about the descriptions, but they're there to look and get to the bottom of it as fast as they can, and they did go out back.
Okay, so he's claiming that usually they wouldn't put, or not even usually, wouldn't put the cameras. That's insane. And also a lot of people are bringing this up, and rightfully, that when they show the body cam footage of entering, they blacked out something saying that it's private property. And a lot of people, obviously I'm ignorant, so I'm just gonna believe a lot of people's statement on that. Usually they do not do that. That's what people are saying, and that's another conspiracy. It is as though they were looking to hide something from the video, so we do not get to see that picture. It was as though they hide evidence in the name of, we do not record public property, this is public property we are entering, we cannot let you show that. Whereas there has been numerous amount of body cam footage that were fully shown to the public without hiding anything. So yeah, that was I think that's interesting as well.
They did see some, I guess you could call it evidence, but I also have dove into this a little bit besides talking to the officers involved. I used some of my air assets and were able to look out in the back of the yard and see the circular impressions that they were talking about. And in that backyard, there's a number of trailers, a number of flatbeds, and the circular impressions are very indicative of rear wheel tracking. So if you drive through a puddle, your front tires make a mark, your back tires are going to make another mark. So you're going to have two separate circles. And if you can see, it's the same depth and the same width of the other vehicle tracks that are going around that shed. So to me, it looks very indicative of a vehicle track, and those are back rear wheel tracking.
Well, that would be a logical explanation for the naysayers to say there's always an explanation for this. So thank you for bringing that part up about those mysterious circles in the backyard.
Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. We're also seeing same kind of marks in circle on the property as well.
But Mark, you also spent some time staked out. You staked out to see if you could get a read on this family. The family has ghosted everybody. They're not responding to interviewers that they made appointments with. They're not responding to telephone calls. I don't even know if they're in the house anymore. But what was your read when you were parked out front for hours and hours?
Yeah, so I'll admit, I drive a black SUV.
Okay, there you go. We can explain the black SUVs away now.
I do not wear black government-issued sunglasses, so there's a little difference there. I have talked to some of the neighbors. I have been able to confirm noise, the big giant boom that the Ring camera had caught at one part of the valley. But there's some more issues with the backyard. Again, I don't want to discount what they're saying, but the house has been dark. There has been no movement in and out other than onlookers going, by the house real slow, taking pictures. As far as movement in the house itself or in the rear, the backyard, or even in the trailers, it's been dark. And it's been dark for the last few days. So I'm sure that they may have left town. But I don't know. They may just be laying low.
And Mark, I'll tell you, there's a perfectly good explanation. They're freaking out over all this attention, and so they amscrayed, or as others would say, they've been taken by the government and they're being hidden.
I don't think they would be taken. They can be for sure, but the reason I don't think that would be the case is because if they're really taken, then a lot of people will start to believe this story, and then people will start a riot over this one. You know what I mean? Or maybe people won't, but do the government really want to go that route? Or maybe they are actually taken by the government and they are probably gonna get debriefed. Debriefed is probably not the right word, but I'm trying to explain. How can I explain this? How can I put it into words? They're taken by the government and they're probably gonna be told to shut up, and they're probably gonna tell them what to say next, and they're magically gonna appear in the coming days, and they're magically gonna start having all the answers in the world, and that's probably gonna be against what they claimed initially. So that is another scenario, and that's that we just gotta wait to see what happens.
Hidden away and interrogated. I mean, this is what the internet's lighting up about. So can I ask you, Ben, about, I learned this about you today and I thought it was awesome. You have spent years debunking these hoaxes. You actually have developed a hoaxer profiling system, and you have 5 types. Can you run through those 5 types real quickly for me?
Sure. I like to think of it as verifying. I hosted a show called Fact or Fake for many years, and that was kind of where I developed all this. So one of them I call clinical con artists, and these are more like sociopaths, and they do it usually for fame or fortune. They usually have like a diagnosable personality disorder. Then you have legendizers. Now, if I were to categorize where I think this is heading, it's often possible that people have legitimate experiences, something that scares them, they believe is real, but they also are frustrated they're not being believed, and they start making up things or legendizing, embellishing the facts. And we see maybe a little of that happening here. Then we have commercial campaigners. These are the people you see making viral videos online, doing it, to showcase their skills or promote a product. Self-amused pranksters. These ones really bother me because these guys do it just for the fun of pulling something off on somebody else. And then the final category is disinformation agents. And we've talked about that. This came out at a time where David Grush was giving his testimony, and you have a lot of people talking about UFOs. So the conspiracy is, well, what if some government shadow group comes out and tries to kind of mollify the hysteria by putting out something that could be later described or found to be a prank, right? And so you put out this outlandish story and sort of ridicule and make fun of those who are now starting to believe what's coming out in disclosure. I really think that is not very plausible in this situation, but some people do.
It's interesting. The police department felt they were legitimately scared, didn't think they were lying, and you'd have to be really, really good at assuming a meteor's coming to get your ruse all together for that very moment, so that it aligns with the meteor coming by. Guys, thank you for this.
That is crazy. And guys, click on this video on the screen. This is his testimony, and now he disappeared. The guy who claimed to have seen the aliens, right? This is his original video. Check this video out, because I feel like that they're magically the family, and the guy's magically gonna reappear and probably gonna say something else as well. So before that happens, click on this video. This is his original video. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you there.